The Galactic Council's military analysts couldn't stop laughing when they first received the design specifications of the Human Strategic Force's newest warship, the HSF Prometheus. It violated every principle of modern space warfare. No plasma cannons, no quantum torpedoes, not even a basic antimatter reactor. Instead, the humans had built what essentially amounted to a giant metal brick with engines. "They're throwing resources away," sneered High Admiral K. Thax of the Zentari Empire, his crystalline appendages flickering with amusement. This will be the shortest war in galactic history. 3 months later, K. Thax was no longer laughing. The HSF Prometheus had just decimated its 7th battle fleet, and nobody could figure out how. The ship's commander, Sarah Chen, sat in her austere bridge chair, watching the holographic display as yet another Zentari dreadnought unleashed its full arsenal against the Prometheus. Exotic particle beams, graviton missiles, and plasma torpedoes splashed harmlessly against the ship's hull. "Status reports," he called out, suppressing a yawn. It had been a long day of destroying supposedly superior alien warships. "Hull integrity at 99.8%, reported Lieutenant Rodriguez from his station. "The new dent adds some nice character, if you ask me. The Prometheus's secret wasn't in any advanced technology. In fact, its principle of operation was so primitive that no advanced civilization had even considered it. The entire ship was essentially a solid block of ultra-dense metallic hydrogen, manufactured in Earth's orbital factories through brutally simple application of pressure and electromagnetic fields. The only hollow spaces were the bare minimum needed for the crew compartments and the engines. When humanity had first joined the galactic community, they'd quickly realized they couldn't compete with the advanced energy weapons of other species. So instead of trying to match them, they'd gone in the opposite direction. The Prometheus didn't need shields because its hull was literally dozens of kilometers thick. It didn't need fancy weapons because its primary method of attack was equally primitive. It simply rammed other ships. "Ma'am," called out Ensign Patel from the sensor station, "the Zentari flagship is attempting to hail us." "On screen," Chen ordered, straightening her uniform. High Admiral K. Thax's crystalline face appeared, its color shifting through various shades of frustrated purple. "This is impossible. You're violating every known principle of space combat." "With all due respect, Admiral," Chen replied with a slight smile, "we're not violating anything. We're just operating on different principles. Your civilization developed energy weapons and shields. We developed really thick walls. But where are your weapon systems?" K. Thax sputtered. "Sir, we are the weapon system. This entire ship is basically a bullet. A very big bullet. With engines." The Zentari Admiral's face shifted to a sickly shade of green. "Your species is insane." "Perhaps," Chen admitted. "But our insanity is currently winning this war. Now, would you like to discuss surrender terms, or should we demonstrate our ramming capabilities again?" The silence that followed was answer enough. Back on Earth, the Human Strategic Forces engineering team was already drawing up plans for their next dumb innovation. After all, if a giant metal brick could revolutionize space warfare, imagine what they could do with a giant metal boomerang. In the years that followed, the HSF Prometheus became a legend in military academies across the galaxy, taught alongside lessons about humanity's peculiar genius. They were the species that looked at thousands of years of technological advancement in energy weapons and shields, shrugged, and decided to solve the problem with the equivalent of a very large rock. As Commander Chen often told new crew members during their orientation, sometimes the dumbest solution is the best solution. The universe expects complexity, so we give it simplicity. It expects advancement, so we give it regression. And somehow, that makes us the most advanced of all. The Zentari Empire, never did figure out an effective counter to the Prometheus. How does one stop a ship that's essentially a solid block of the densest material humans could manufacture? Energy weapons were useless against its sheer mass. Kinetic weapons bounced off or were absorbed into its bulk. In the end, the only defense was to surrender before the humans got creative with even simpler solutions. As the story spread throughout the galaxy, other species began to understand a fundamental truth about humanity. They were dangerous not because they were more advanced, but because they were willing to be less advanced. They didn't think outside the box. They built a box so thick that nothing could penetrate it, then flew it into their enemies. The HSF Prometheus remained in service for over 50 years, its hull gradually accumulating dents and scrapes that its crew treated like badges of honor. It never lost a battle, never failed a mission, and never once fired a shot in anger. After all, it didn't have any weapons to fire.